Or say Kahal Yahweh Ba'asham Yoshai. Or say also double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and also to the brothers and them on the highways and byways that pushing us good in sincerity. I'm Rai Badyon. I here to break down a little information concerning this so-called white man and their tyrant named Christopher Columbus. A lot of people don't understand the history that is involved based on how we came across to this part of the world. So hence the reason they actually believe that Columbus was a notable person, a notable person, and a lot of different things, you know. But the scriptures say here in First Timothy 4, right, 4 verse 1, he say, "Now the Spirit speak expressively that in the latter times, which is the last days where we're in right now, some shall depart from the faith," which means depart, the right path, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, in other words, the teachings of the deceivers. Because this is what they are about. I mean, they a mindset is in that kind of you know kind of way. Hence the reason they actually believe that Christopher Columbus discovered all these different countries and so on. He says speaking lies and hypocrisy, right, which is in pretense, having their conscience snared with a hot iron, so they have their conscience snared. I mean, trapped, even like seen. So this is a book um, here. I have a good book for the brothers them to pick up with. You know what I mean? Christopher Columbus, and African Holocaust. You know what I mean? It says slavery and the rise of the European capitalism. I mean by John Hequin Clark. You know what I mean? So this is a book, whereas according to the apostle, you're supposed to give attendance unto reading continually. So now it had something to say here on page 15, right, concerning Columbus. Um, yeah, you say the proletates and oppressed people have nothing to celebrate on October 12th. They say the Columbus anniversary is celebrated as mass murder, slavery, and conquest. They say more, it exalts the continuing oppression of billions of people. Columbus is something only oppressors or fools could celebrate. And the reason why they said that, they said something like that because Europeans actually gave Christopher Columbus days, days to celebrate, and they actually have a lot of people, um, celebrating that day even in America, right? And that is one of the things, whereas with people, they don't understand, that they celebrate certain holidays and they do as if though Christopher Columbus did much for us, but he did not, you know. And the history in which you're gonna dig up concerning Columbus, it wouldn't be no nice history. Be honest with you, it'll be a brute, brute history. You know, he wasn't a good man; he was a tyrant. Because when you go further up, you see it has been gone down like that. You say the oppressed people have a different view throughout the past year, right? Throughout the past year, there have been debates and confrontation whenever the ruling powers have tried to celebrate Columbus, right, and their system in Spain, the United States, and throughout the Western Hemisphere. In the Dominican Republic recently, the media reported that soldiers shot into a crowd of anti-Columbus, which is anti like against, Columbus demonstrators, and killed at least two people in Peru. I mean, the growing Moes people, which you should look up that Moes people, war, war reveal an important truth. This is the world system that emerged since Columbus is under assault. Its day are numbered. So they tell you plain now, listen, people are ready for Columbus at all, you know. And these are a couple of the reasons why. You see, the above quote, right? Um, yeah, the above quote, they say, are selected to illustrate the fact that Christopher Columbus discovered absolutely nothing, right? That he was an adventurer, an opportunist, and a willful murderer, and a liar, and that what he set in motion was a base for Western capitalism and exploitation of both Africans and indigenous American. Well, we know they're not African, which is Israelites or Jews, you know, Americans who had committed no crime against the European people. You see, and did not knew European intentions to conquer and to enslave them. You see, both the Africans and the indigenous Americans, which is like the natives, which is the northern tribes, befriended the Europeans first. At first, you see, and you see, uh, only to be rewarded by enslavement. You know what I mean? So they treated him first as a friend, and it didn't turn out to be like that. You know what I mean? It turned out to be enslavement. You know, first scripture comes to mind. Yeah, is this scripture in Psalms, all right? Psalms 55 verse 20. He say he putteth forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant, which is the agreement, because they say that the natives, they actually accept him with peace. He said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. He said his words were softer than oil, yet they draw swords, you know what I mean? So yeah, they actually draw swords, against the people in the land, you know. So that's what I mean. They say, listen, uh, they say that both the Africans and the indigenous Americans befriended the Europeans at first, but only to be rewarded by enslavement. They did not protect themselves from the European because they did not believe there was a need to. The literature exposing Christopher Columbus and the portrait crimes he set in motion is massive and still growing. You know what I mean? So that is why things that I keep in mind. Columbus, he was no good man, you know. You see them things was still growing, man. Can we jump a little further down? Say here in uh uh yeah, you say here we'll start at, they say the US imperialists love Columbus. They have named cities, right? Towns, rivers, colleges, parks, streets. They said even their capitals after him. You know what I mean? After Columbus. They say, and now they are organizing a global celebration, yet to the people, the fact are plain. Columbus was a thief. Because that is exactly where he came. When he came down to Trinidad, he was a freaking thief, man. I just tell people that I don't know how they could actually uphold this man's shit, yo. Because when he came here, it had native Indians on the land, which was the Tainos and the Boliquas, which we known as the Caribs and the Arawaks. You know, that is like the tribe of Simeon and also the tribe of uh, uh, Manasseh or Manasseh. You know what I mean? So they get real tied up with that. They say, listen, they are thieves because when they came here, what they do, they stole the land, try to kill all the natives, you know, to get the land. So they say Columbus was a thief, an invader, an organizer of rape of the Indian women. You understand? A slave trader. You know what I mean? You see, a rational religious fanatic. You understand what I'm saying? So there are a lot of things. You see, a personal director of the campaign of mass murder of defenseless people. So, well, you could really give this man, you know what I mean, all the credit. Columbus was a tyrant, you know. Could I say here, Columbus was utterly lost when he arrived on the beach of Bahamas and all too, until he died. He say he swore that he landed on the eastern shore of Asia. Because this man, he didn't know the shit he was doing, you know. But let's just show that hey, Columbus was really he was really whacked in his head, yo. You know, people doesn't really get that. Columbus was he had real issues, man. You know, a lot of issues. You know, anybody that actually upholding this man, his madness, that boy, you know. You say here concerning like how they try to colonize the people, you know. A lot of meat in this book, you know, but it's kind of skipping through. I advise you, brothers, to try to get one of these books, you know, because be helpful in the streets too, dealing with all people concerned where they call themselves all these different things and Africans and madness. It has some bone in it, but you had to chew the meat and spit out the bone, like how Apostle Ariam Lala say, you know. He say what he actually did, and he should be credited for. He set in motion the exploitation of the continent of European domination. He say he never set foot on America or South America. He set in motion an attitude that is still with us, a concept called drive, divine, slacking, white right. You know what I mean? Like all these people and the white crimes, white right. He say, and something else called manifest destiny. He said the assumption was because Europeans had the ships and the basic technology, they had the right to go into other people's country and exploit their mineral resources, take their women and rape at will. They did all of this in the name of a God that they say was merciful and kind. So now that is the Seja Borgia now, boy. You know, and the kind of atrocities in which this this white man did, you know, is tremendous, you know. It's tremendous, man. It's tremendous, you know. I mean, these days, some really brothers, all you all should really get into Thailand history too, because the only way for you to be able to advance to also is also get into history, you know, because the Bible is a historical book also. You know what I mean? Uh, see, I could find here. Yeah, because one of the things where they tried to during the slavery too at Columbus. He's saying in this initial expansion, the Europeans not only colonized history, all right, they colonized information about history. These are a lot of the things where they changed during the Renaissance, and even up to this day, they're still changing. Like these movies where they bring out like gods of Egypt and Noah and Moses, they all changed up everything, you know what I mean? He said, most disastrous of all their colonization was the colonization of the image of the Most High, of God, right? Which they put him as what? As white. You know, that is madness. Because the Bible clearly say how he looks like. He said they deny and conquer the people the right to see God in through their own imagination or to address God in a word that came from their own language, which was Hebrew. That they restrained me. So whereas the natives when I used to be singing Yah ha ha wa, Yah ha ha wa, they restrained them. Even the Jakes that came across here, the so-called Africans, they restrained them also. You know, you see, every effort was made to wipe from their memory how they ruled the state and how they related to their spirituality before the coming of the Europeans. He said most of the people of the world were forced to forget that over half of the human history was over before anyone knew that the European was in the world. So they actually tried to wipe away a lot of history too, you know. But that's a little info. I mean, concerning this book. You already get into this book. You know what I mean, brothers. I mean, Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. You know,